Hi guys, I thought I'd just do a quick video on some questions I get asked a lot because I shoot full butterfly. I was just going to run through the basics, why I shoot it, how to shoot it, and a few tips and tricks if you want to give it a bash. I'm just going to do a short video before I get started. Some people don't think it's as accurate. I think it's just as accurate and a lot faster. .25 mil on the right. Ask me a lot why I shoot full butterfly. Personally, I shoot full butterfly. I do a lot of hunting, so I want my bands to be as light as possible while still putting out the maximum speed downrange. So the way I think about it is, if you're shooting a 0.45 band but you've got double the amount of latex, it sort of equates to you shooting a 0.9 band, because you've got the same amount of latex traveling down speed. It's got a lot more time to accelerate and get out of the barrel. So with these very light bands, 0.45, I'm still pushing 300 foot a second with 8mm stills. I'm not saying you need that at all to hunt, because that's not the case. I know a lot of boys that are hunting and taking things doing 240, but I personally find for the longer shots, when that ball's got to get down range, that you'll be hitting the longer shots a lot faster, because it doesn't matter how fast your balls are going, they drop at the same speed. So if it can get down range twice as fast, it's half the amount of drop. So that's basically why I shoot long draw. Right, I'm just going to do a little section on how I shoot it and hope it clears a few things up. So I'm just shooting, these are 16 to 12 tapered wasp, 0.45 bands, and I'll just do a quick demonstration on the things that I do that help me. They might not help everyone. You know how catapult shooting is, everyone's got a different style, so it's not concrete by any stretch of the imagination. It's just how I personally do it. So when I'm drawing, I stand in a normal stance. My short draw would pull out to here. My long draw pulls way past that, but the band just touches my face at exactly the same point I would anchor to. So I'm looking at the same trajectory, just further back. Also, a short thing that I'll do is why I don't pull right back like this and I stick to somewhere over there. If you watch my arm, as I pull back, this is all going in a straight line until here, whereas if I want to get that extra bit of stretch, I have to stretch my arm right out and the anchor point lowers. But up to here, if I was shooting half, just past my head, half butterfly or full butterfly, it's all in line still. So I don't like that little extra bit that just throws my anchor. It also means if your bands aren't tied exactly the same every time, you're still on that trajectory path. And that's just the way I do it. It seems to work for me. Yeah. The other few questions lots of people ask is, aren't you afraid that you're going to hit your face? The answer is no, until they said that. So because that band is touching my cheek, it's not going to touch my face. It's the same as the pouch, where the pouch is. It's not going to hit your face. I wouldn't advise shooting long draw if you're still getting the odd fork hit. To be honest, it's more for the seasoned shooter, just because you really don't want an 8mm hitting your hand at 300 foot a second. So, but if you haven't had a fork hit in a while and you want to try something a bit fun, it's for me personally a lot more fun. I love shooting long draw. I'd never go back to short because the speeds that you're getting are just so much faster. To how I shoot as well. So, stand in your normal stance as you would. Hold it out and I stretch both hands at the same time until that band is touching exactly where your short draw anchor would be. So once you've done that, stance, touch anchor, continue the pull, aim at your target, release. Simple as that, boys. You will find that if you've been shooting slower bands, you'll go high on a lot of your targets. That's probably because you're used to the holdover and aiming high. With these, I'm not putting holdover on until at least 20 meters. That's bare minimum, maybe 25. I've been shooting a long time, so it's sort of hard to judge, but I would imagine 20 meters before you're putting any holdover on. So you're shooting at the same arc of trajectory as you would be maybe shooting at 10 meters of short draw. So it's just something to think about when you are shooting. But just give it a crack, guys. You might enjoy it and you might be good. The reason I started shooting, I'd just done it as a mess around, and I started hitting targets. And I was like, oh bloody hell, I can actually hit things long draw, and they're going with a thwack. And then I started hitting more and more targets. I thought, blimey, I might be as accurate long draw as I am short draw. And then eventually I thought, I'm more accurate long draw, especially on distance targets. That's when I find it really comes into its own, just because you haven't got to do all the mental arithmetics, you know, thinking, oh, how much hold over, hold under. Far less of that, just point and shoot. So that's why I love it. Just one more quick thing to touch on, which I'm an absolute nightmare for, is the follow through with full butterfly. So when you're shooting short draw, the ball leaves a lot faster. So if you drop that hand, it's not the end of the world. With long draw, sometimes I find I let the shot go and immediately drop my hand, and I think sometimes I do it before the ball's left and it throws my shot right off. So something I've really been focusing on at the moment is when I aim, I pull back, I aim, I fire, and I leave the hand there. Just another little tip that's helped me improve my shooting when I'm shooting full butterfly. I just got home and I realised I didn't touch on this, and it's probably quite important. I can overshoot for myself, so lots of shooters anchor with a hand this way. I've naturally always anchored with my hand that way. I don't know because I've never done it, but I imagine it's a lot harder to shoot butterfly and keep a trajectory because your wrist will come out. So if you flip that hand upside down, so you're holding the pouch with your fingers pointing up, you can follow that flat line all the way through. Again, there's no hard and fast rules on how to do it, but it's just the way I do it. I also find that when I was shooting heavier bands with 11s, if you have it this way, you tend to roll the pouch under that thumb to hold the ball right in. Whereas I found if you hold it this way, you don't get a speed bump effect because it comes straight out of the thumb, and it's a lot easier just to ease the pressure off and let the ball fly out, the elastic take the ball from your hand instead of physically releasing, where you might get a bump or you might get a speed bump. but who knows. For those of you that don't know me and where I shoot at the West Kent Catapult Club. So I'm just down there at the moment, and I'm going to do maybe the first 5 shots of the Hunter's course, just for a bit of fun really. 3 points. Just low. The way I've had to stand it, you're not going to be able to see me on this one. But it's a high shot in a tree, maybe 15, maybe 20 metres. There you go. Second shot. You're not going to be able to see me from where I'm shooting, but that's a little spinner. There we go. And the peg is just over there. Not a long shot, but a small one.